Guys. Okay, so we're going to try one more problem here. This is a three-step problem, and you are going to have some like this on the test. This is similar to the one that I already showed you about finding the parallel and perpendicular lines. But in this one, they do not give you um, the equation. You actually have to find the equation. So let's work through this together so that you can see how to do that. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is find our equation. So how do we find our equation? That's going to be part A. And to find an equation, we're going to need to know the slope of the line. So let's find our slope first. So our slope, remember, is the change in y over the change in x, rise over run. So that's x2. Another way it could be written is, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's go ahead and fill those in. So I'm going up here to the top. I'm going to get y2, which will be negative 7, minus y1, which is negative 6. And then I'm going to put that over x2, which is negative 8, minus x1, which is negative 4. You got to be really careful with your negatives in this problem because if you notice, they're all negative. So we're going to change, I'm going to change colors just so you can see the difference. We're going to change this to plus a positive and this to plus a positive. And then we'll go back to blue. And negative 7 plus 6 gives us negative 1 over negative 8 plus 4 gives us negative 4. So that means the slope is, these can both be positive because the negatives cancel out, right? So the slope is 1/4. So now that we know the slope, we have to figure out, we're still looking for the equation of the line, right? We didn't find the equation yet. All we found was the slope. So we're going to now use our little formula to figure out what the formula of the line is. So we're going to use the y minus y1 equals slope times x minus x1. So this is the point slope formula because we have 2 points up here and we have a slope. So it makes sense to use the point slope formula. So let's go ahead and figure this out. So we're going to leave our y there. I'm going to say y minus, and let's just pick one of our points. So I'm going to pick this one to use. Y1 is negative 6. So y minus negative 6 equals, m is the slope, which we know is 1/4. So we're going to put our 1/4 here, times x, we leave our x alone, minus x1 is negative 4. And then we're going to go and simplify this, right? So our next step, we're going to do plus a positive here, plus a positive here. So on the left side, and I'm going to do a little arrow like this just so you can see, since we're working with equations, the little arrow kind of shows us instead of doing an equal sign in between the equal signs, if that makes sense. So I have y plus 6 on the left equals, and then I already changed this to plus a positive, so let's distribute this 1/4. We're going to have to distribute here and here. So we'll have on the right side 1/4 x. Then we have plus 1/4 times 4. So those 4's cancel out and we're just left with 1. Now we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. So our formula, this is going to cancel out, will be y equals 1/4 x. And then plus 1 minus 6 will be minus 5. So our formula for our line will be y equals 1/4 x minus 5. So this is now in y-intercept form. So we have y equals mx plus b. Okay, so now let's go on to part B. So part B, if we're going to find a line parallel to CD that passes through -1 comma -4, we're going to use this same formula that we used right here. And then we're going to look at whether it says parallel or perpendicular to know what slope we're going to use, and we'll just fill it in. It'll be really simple. So we'll have y minus y1. So now we're on part B, so we got to use this one. So y minus -4 equals, if it's a parallel line, the slope is the same. So we're going to say 1/4 x times, oh, sorry, no x right here. 1/4 times x minus x1. x1 is -1. So now we'll change this to plus a positive, change this to plus a positive. We're going to distribute this 1/4. So now we have y plus 4 equals, let's distribute this 1/4. So we get 1/4 x, distribute it over here, plus 1/4. Then we're just going to figure this out, right? We have to get y by itself, so we subtract 4 from both sides. So y equals 1/4 x. You can always pause this if I'm going too fast. 1/4 minus 4 is going to give you minus 3 3/4. So this will be your answer for part B. It's going to be the line that's parallel. Then we're just going to go on to part C, and we're going to do a very similar thing. Do a lighter color here. We're going to do a very similar thing. We've got our same formula that we have to use, but we're just going to use our new point. And since it says perpendicular, we know we have to do the opposite reciprocal of this original slope that we got. So first we have y minus y1. Well, y1 is 0, so y minus 0 equals, and then our slope is, instead of 1/4, it's going to be -4, because we have to do opposite reciprocal, times x minus x1. x1 is going to be our -9. And remember, if I'm going too fast, just pause the video. So y minus 0 is just going to be y equals, then we're going to distribute. We have -4x, and then -4, oh, that's plus a positive. I couldn't see what I wrote. So the -4 times 9 is -36. So this will be the formula for our line that is perpendicular to the original line. This one is the formula for our line that is parallel to the original line. And then this purple one is our answer to part A, which is our original formula. Part A. Let's put an A by it, so you know it's the equation for the line EF. Okay, so this is how we do this, and hopefully this made some sense. Remember, we're going to pause it. If you are confused, just pause the video, and that is it. All right, good luck on the test.